1928, Siegfried Sassoon, who would become one of the most well-renowned World War I poets, was actually a poet and then a soldier and then a poet, wrote Passing the New Minden Gate, which you've actually already heard presented to you last time. So I won't go too much into detail about the background behind that gate, but what's relevant to know is that it's a geographical, very significant landmark in Belgium. And for the purposes of Sassoon, it was a place where British and Commonwealth troops would march through on their way to the front lines. And so about the numbers I've read have been like 90,000. Those troops never marched back through, and they remained out there on the front lines and were never given proper burial. So this is on Passing the New Minden Gate by Siegfried Sassoon. Who will remember passing through this gate? The unheroic dead who fed the guns. Who shall absolve the foulness of their fate? Those doomed, conscripted, unvictorious ones. Crudely renewed, the salient holds its own. Paid are its dim defenders by this pomp. Paid with a peace complacent pile of stuff. The armies that endured that sullen swamp. Here was the world's worst wound. And here, with pride, their names liveth forevermore. The gateway prince. Was ever an immolation so belied as these intolerably nameless names? Well might the dead, who struggled in slime, rise and deride the sepulchre of crime. Okay, so I actually related this poem because one of my first memories in life is the commitment of a memorial, the Kobar Towers bombing memorial. My father was the commander of some of the guys who were killed in that bombing, and so I was, I think, four, just about, when the memorial was commissioned. I'm sorry, when the bombings happened and the memorial was commissioned, just a little bit later. So what struck me about this poem is that it seems to me that Sassoon was so bitter and a world away in terms of relevant details. That was just not the experience that I knew. So, from speaking of my father and my mother and all the folks who were involved in the Kobar Towers bombing, the sense that I came away with and still do when I speak to them is that these men and women, their lives were given for a cause, and that the memorial that was dedicated to them was an honor to that memory, and it wasn't an insult in any way, and it wasn't deficient, it wasn't trying to capture the entirety of their